Welcome to my live. Happy Monday. And why is it Happy Monday? Well, because today actually is my birthday. And so I thought what I'd do is on my birthday, share a live stream and talk to you guys and share gratitude, but share some insights. And I'm going to talk about a couple things. I'm going to talk about things I'm grateful for. I'm going to talk about things that I'm seeing with people who are in my network, those who are struggling with their small business or struggling with their speaking or storytelling or even with TEDx stuff. And I'm going to share insights. And then at the end of this, I'm going to actually offer a gift. So I'm going to offer gratitude, but I'm also going to offer a gift, something special for people who are following me on this channel, who are following me in terms of the work I do. I'm very grateful for the fact, I start with gratitude, grateful for the fact that I have all these lovely people who subscribe to my emails, subscribe to my live streams, are followers or supporters. And so that's a big part of what I want to talk about today. So if you are listening in, definitely share a thought or a tip or something in the chat so I know you're here, and I'm happy to share my insights. So this is me going live on Substack. I normally what I would do is I would multi-stream, and I tried testing it out, but I couldn't do it. So it's just me on live stream. So if you see what I'm up to, you'll know who I am and what I'm doing, which is great. But let's get right into it. So I'll start off with, look, the reason why I like to offer gratitude on my birthday is because at this point in my life, I've done lots of really amazing things. I've met a lot of amazing people, and I feel really grateful and blessed for the things that are going on. So you know, I can be I can start with the easy gratitude, which I'm grateful for my partner, my wife, my kids, who are my son's going to graduate soon and go to university. I'm grateful for my parents, my siblings, all my family, all my friends. On Saturday I had a karaoke party with my friends, and that was kind of fun. Sang a lot of songs, which was great. And I'm grateful for my communities. I have my TLB club community, which is basically all the people who are small business owners trying to level up and grow their business to monetize and try to get to that next level. There's some amazing people in my community. There's like 50 people there, and we have weekly calls and accountability. We have a private group that's great. Similarly, I have another a TEDx mastery community where people are trying to land a TEDx talk and elevate their speaking, their authority, their expertise to build speaking, media, and business, and double their fees and things like that. So that's another thing that I do. And then I also have communities on other platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and then Substack. And I talk a lot about on different platforms. I talk about my family, I talk about my business. I even talk about politics and social justice. So it's something that these are things that are really, really important to me. And that's why I talk about them, because I think people need to understand that those are important things. So I do talk about a lot of things on different platforms. But today here I'm going to focus on business owners. Business owners and brands. If you are listening in right now and you're a business owner or you're trying to build a brand and you're trying to elevate who you are, to be more known, to have more authority, more expertise, then that's really what I want to talk about today. And I'm going to share some thoughts and insights of kind of what I'm seeing and what can be done better, because I think people need to understand what that is. But again, right now, because of my birthday, I'm focused on gratitude. I just share gratitude for the people in my life, gratitude for my communities. Substack's another great community of amazing people. If you like this, by all means, subscribe. If you like my other extra content, I encourage you to subscribe and upgrade. It's only $7 just to upgrade to the next level, tier 2 of my campaign of my subscribers, and I'd love to have you check that out, get more bonus content, and get more access to me and what I'm doing. So think about that as you look at this. Some of you are already part of my highest level, which is tier 3, which is known as the TLB Insiders. Some of you are part of the TLB club membership community, and so you're already part of that. And so I think with birthdays, it's good to spend time being grateful. It's good to spend time giving back. So part of what I want to do is to give back to people. I mean, what do you do for your birthday? I mean, I have the whole day here, but what I did was I blocked off half of it because I wanted to just do whatever I wanted. If I want to watch a video, I want to go for a walk, or I don't know, maybe play a video game. Why not, right? I should take a day off and have fun doing that. So, so that's kind of that. So that gratitude's out of the way. I'm grateful for a lot of things, guys. I'm grateful for you. Thanks for listening in. Now let's talk about. I'm going to share some learnings that I've had over the years. So I've now been, and in case you didn't know, I'm turning 55 today. I mean, they always say that you always hear like Freedom 55. What does that actually mean? I mean, Freedom 55 is the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. And, like I no one's perfect, but, I feel really blessed that I could do a lot of things. I have a lot of flexibility, which is great. If my daughter or son says, "Hey, Dad, can you come pick me up?" Or, "Hey, by the way, we're doing a show and I'm performing. Can you come by at 2 p.m.?" I can just get up and go, right? And I have that freedom as an entrepreneur. So I think that's really great. Um, and as a milestone birthday, I see this as a milestone birthday because when I turned 50, it was in the middle of the pandemic. We were locked down, and honestly, I was pretty bummed out because I was playing a big bash, right? And I couldn't do anything. We had a Zoom call, which was fine, but I couldn't see people, and it was kind of hard. So now I'm glad to be back. And for those who don't know, my word of the year is revival. Why revival? Because I'm trying to revive my social life by getting out more because I've become a bit of a hermit. I'm reviving different parts of my business that I've kind of neglected. Other parts are going well, but other parts I've neglected. I'm reviving because musicals typically have a revival. And I see this shirt, it says Rent on it. So I'm actually doing my first musical in 18 years, and I'm performing in Rent. So if you're in Toronto, the GTA, come by and see it. February 26th to March 8th. I'm playing my dream role of Collins, which is amazing. I'm super excited about that. Um, so what I want to mention is I've been in business now for 20 years. And I can tell you in the early days of my business, what did I struggle with? Well, let's talk about the struggles. One, being alone. So here I am in my apartment and I'm all alone. Now, luckily, my wife partner's over there, which is great. But that didn't happen in the beginning. She went to a physical work and I was at home by myself. And it was lonely. It was really hard to stay focused on what I got to work on. You know, and because entrepreneurship and even if you're trying to, or if you're looking for a job, or even if you're trying to build a brand, there's just so much to do. Where to even begin? So it's hard to stay focused. So I think that was a big challenge. Another challenge for me is I started off as a speaker, and what do you price yourself? How do you charge? What is it you want people to pay you for your services, speaking, coaching, consulting, whatever it is. I had a lot of mentors help me out in the day, and so I think that's the first lesson. Find the mentors that are going to help you. Which mentors will help you in what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. That to me is incredibly important. I found some mentors. I remember Sanjay Nath, who was my first speaker mentor, gave me advice on topics to create, what to charge, all that kind of stuff. As I got where to find people and speaking gigs, I started doing what he was saying. Fun fact: I created 3 different speaking topics back in the day, and 2 of them I never actually did. I never actually did them. One of them I delivered 3 times. I think it was called the 3 Ps of leadership, is what I called it. And I think it was, I'm trying to remember. I think it was passion, proactiveness, and people, if I recall. I did that 3 times, and then I just got feedback on, what they liked about it and what resonated. Pretty soon I started talking about other things. I started talking about networking. So I wrote a networking book and people like that. Then I started talking about personal branding and people love that. So I designed a personal branding program and course for people. Then I started talking about digital marketing and social media. Soon I started talking about storytelling and vulnerability. And so, you start to adjust and evolve what you're doing as you go along. But having mentors in the very beginning is incredibly important. I also had a plan. A lot of people, they jump in, they don't have a plan. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a really comprehensive 20-page plan on stuff, but you have to have some sort of plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So I had a plan. I had a business plan. That's true. But not everyone needs that. But having even a couple of pages of what are you going to do? Who's your target? Where they are? What's your brand? How are you going to sell? How are you going to get clients? How are you going to grow? Like having that is, to me, at least a little bit helpful. So that's important. And then the other big struggle is not knowing where to go. Like, where do I find resources and tools? Who do I ask questions? I mean, it's already lonely. So having a community can be really helpful. So I didn't know where to go. I had friends. I reached out to people. I'd ask questions. But I think having a place where you get the resource, tools, support you need, and accountability is incredibly important. So I didn't really have a community until like probably the third or fourth year. I met a bunch of entrepreneurs in Toronto, and we started chatting with each other about the journey, and that helped. That's why I started TLB Club, because I want to help. I want to give back. I want to give back to the people who struggled with, being a business owner, leveling up. Because most of the people I know, they kind of level up and they get stuck. They get stuck at a ceiling. That ceiling could be, you know, 40K per year part time while they're working a full time job. That could also be 80K in a full time business, but they can't break that ceiling, or their ceiling is 120K, or their ceiling is 150K. They can't break past it. They've been making the same money for like maybe the last 2, 3, maybe even 5, 10 years. So how do you break through that? So having community is incredibly important. Pretty soon I started joining other communities, and so I'm now part of multiple communities, probably 3 or 4 or 5 of them, at which one is TLB Club, which I spend a lot of time in and supporting the members, but I get a lot of support out of it too. I'm part of my own. I have my own coach in their community, which I'm part of. I have a TEDx Master community that I run. I'm also part of the whole community, the Link to Top Voice community. So there's different ones I'm using, leveraging, depending on how much time I can put in there. So community is incredibly important for you to think about when you're trying to build your business or your career, your brand. And then that also leads to coaching. So having someone there to provide accountability, focus, to give you direction, and I call myself a consultant because I coach and I consult. Coaching is me helping you find the wind beneath your wings and motivating you with your mindset and your accountability to go where you want to go. And consulting is me telling you what I think you should do based on where you're at. So I typically do a little bit of both. I call it consulting because every person I talk to needs a little bit of each of those things. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Now, if you are part of this chat and you want to put comments or add replies, by all means do that. I'd love to see you, hear from you guys. That'd be great. So, for example, I think I could type here, you know, share your comments. Let me do that. Let me see here. I'm spelling this wrong. Hold on. There we go. I just put that there in the comments. You can put comments too if you want, and you can share whatever you want. If you want to ask questions, I'll be here to answer your questions too. Because I'm gonna live stream for a little bit here. I'm gonna gun for 30 to 40 minutes. Kind of what I'm aiming for here. So I'm just talking about the beginning of my journey. So I was lonely, so I started creating breakfast meetings and leveraging social media, and that's kind of where things helped me out tremendously in the beginning. Uh, Finding community was also another thing I was trying to figure out. Then getting coaching. Now, coaching is different than community because you have someone who's your go-to person who's going to champion you and support you as you grow your business. Now, I remember my first coach, and I was really nervous, and I was kind of hesitating, balking at the price, right? Um, but then I realized, look, it's an investment, right? And if he can help me grow to where I would need to go, then I think it's a good thing. And I'm glad I did it. I think, and I remember at the time, I think I invested, I think it was like $470 a month or something like that with this coach. And Nick, he was great. And yeah, he helped me. And one of the first things he said was, "Look, if Bobby, you're a big speaker. You've done a lot of cool stuff. You've done TEDx four. At that time, I'd done 4 TEDx talks, not 5, but I'd done 4." He's like, and I got a coach pretty late in my business. I started my business in 2007. I joined my first community in 2009, and then I got my first coach in 2000, and I think it was 13, 12, 13, somewhere around there. And at this point, I already done 4 TEDx talks. He's like, man, you need to create a program. What's your program, Bobby? I'm like, oh, I don't know. So one of the things he compelled me to do is to create a program. Taking people on a journey with your expertise from A to Z, whatever that is they're working on. And so I designed my first networking mastery program. Then I designed a thought leadership program, then a personal brand program, a speaker mastermind program. So I've been building programs all the time. But having that coach was incredibly important. And then I think, and then as I grew and built, having a book, having a program, having a thought leadership digital content strategy, but most importantly is how to monetize it. You can't just build awareness. And 2 things I learned along the way was I used to say that I'm a speaker, and the truth is that's not really what you should do. What is your expertise? So I started saying, well, I'm an expert in personal branding, storytelling, and authentic connections, kind of what I said in the early days. And from that, I have a book, a program, I speak, I do keynotes and training, right? And so that's kind of how you're an expert in something. That was one of the first things I learned. The second thing I learned is that social media is awareness building, but you need to have a way to actually monetize and get clients specifically. So what exactly are you doing with that? Too many people are like, well, my strategies, I'm on social media. Oh, okay. Well, and now I'm on Instagram and I have 1,000 followers, or I'm on LinkedIn. I have 10,000 followers. Oh, I'm on YouTube and I just got my first 100 subscribers. Great. Does it lead to business? I had a post. My best social media post ever was on LinkedIn. I remember this thing, 3.6 million views. Guess how much business I got out of that? Nothing, nothing. Well, there may be some indirect ones because what I did was, what I didn't do at the time was all the people who commented, I should have followed up with them back in the day with a message. Hey, thanks so much for this. What are you working on? How can I help you? And I didn't do that. But it was certainly a big awareness builder, and that's fine. And typically vulnerability builds a lot of awareness, but you have to learn how to leverage it and start those conversations. So that to me is really important. And then finally, in terms of, where I am now is, keep track of all your assets and make sure as you grow, like how are you leveraging your assets? Because that to me is an incredibly important piece. And the last thing I'll say before I get into kind of my special birthday offer that I want to share with you is that for the most part, um, the biggest problem that I've seen and that I've also had issues with is what we call focus, right? Focus. Where's your focus? Because most people I know are doing all these things, or they're doing nothing and they're planning, 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 and doing nothing. One of my best friends, she was planning, 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 researching, learning, 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 reading books, taking programs, taking courses. I'm like, just put something out there. And she waited like 4 years until she finally put it out there. And next thing she's getting noticed, she's getting seen because she's really smart and really and lovely and fantastic. And next thing you know, she's on Good Morning America talking about her expertise. Great, right? And she has that one thing that she does. So having that focus and that one thing you do is incredibly important because if you are everywhere, first off, it's an analytical nightmare. Number two, you don't know where you can't track as much, and it's hard to, like you can initially start with a few things, but if something's taken off, you run with it, right? And you try to invest in that and try to build that up. And so, you have to think about where that focus is going to be, whether you're a speaker, a coach, a consultant, a job seeker, whatever it might be. I think most of us lack focus, and I too struggle with focus. I mean, I'm ADHD, so I squirrel, and that's fine. But you have to find a way to, create that focus. And most recently, I signed up for a coaching program just last year. And again, I'm always in communities. I always have a coach. I coach people, but every good coach should have a coach. If your coach doesn't have a coach, that's a problem for me. It should be a problem for you too. Because do they know everything? Are they perfect? No, we all have issues and challenges. Who's holding them accountable? Who's nurturing them? Who coaches the coach? So I joined a coaching program, and I got to tell you, like, I love my coaching. Like, I think I deliver some really cool transformational stuff across the areas that I know about: personal branding, storytelling, content strategy, whatever it might be. And then I took this coaching program, and wow, I was like, the stuff they had was transformative. And the biggest thing that I learned from them was uh, basically for my stuff. So I do three things. One is professional speaking and training for companies, corporations, teams, conferences. And then, of course, I have the TLB membership community for small business owners, which was kind of my low level offering where people can get access to me for a much cheaper price. And then I have my high level TEDx mastery coaching where I guarantee a TEDx talk. But what I was doing wrong was I was trying to promote these things in multiple ways. So one of the things they taught me to do is like, look, just have one place where there's the funnel. So now for me, with for example, for TEDx, it's a Facebook ad that leads to an email campaign where they book a call with me, and then I tell them about the program, and that's it. Because I was running a free webinar, I was running a 5-day challenge, I was running a quarterly workshop, I was running all this content, and I was doing all these things, and I couldn't track where all the stuff was coming in from, where all the best people are coming in from. So it's hard. One place, optimize that funnel, optimize the program, optimize the sales calls. That's how you do it. Same with TLB Club, right? So TLB Club, what's now I have a mean way in which I'm trying to push it. I basically tell people, look, the best way to learn about TLB Club and what we do is come to one of our calls as my guest. You get to see the coaching call or the tech clinic or the LinkedIn clinic. You get to know what it's all about. And then similarly for the speaking, I'm just focusing on direct messaging to target people on LinkedIn. That's it. I could do Facebook, I could do Instagram, I could do all these things, but focused, focus, focus. So if you're listening in, this is my birthday live stream. It's my birthday today, and I do accept nice wishes. I do accept birthday sing-alongs if you want, but I also want to share something kind of cool that I'm doing. So I talked earlier about the challenges of being a business owner or a small business person, trying to build your brand. Whether you're trying to build your business, trying to build your brand, trying to even get a job or get a better job, whatever you're trying to do, elevate your life. There's always things that people are trying to do. I want to focus on the entrepreneur thing. So first off, most entrepreneurs I know are coaches, consultants, speakers, things like that. But you are all experts in something. So you have to have, in my mind, an offer. What is that offer? So what I want to do is I want to announce that I'm running a 5-day challenge. And it's totally free. It's totally free. Okay. You get access to this challenge on Substack if you sign up. Okay. So I'll share a link later on, or you can follow my stuff on Substack or follow my stuff on LinkedIn. I will talk about it every Sunday. Actually, this week I'm someone today, but my newsletter. If you go to my newsletter, you see all my events and all I'm doing. So this 5-day challenge is already in there. But what I'm going to do is in 5 days, I'm going to show you how to fix your offer. What do you mean by that? Like your offer? Well, you know, this is for creators, coaches, consultants, someone who already has something to sell. Could be a speaker too, but it's not converting. I meet people all the time who I'm a speaker, but I'm only doing free stuff. Or I'm a consultant, but I can't charge more than a certain amount. I'm a coach, but I can't seem to get people to book calls with me. So if you have something to sell and it's not converting, I'm going to show you how to fix your offer in 5 days. And it's just going to be content based. So you sign up and you can find out more about what I'm doing. But essentially, what you're going to get is on day one, we're going to look at a clarity reset, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to try to understand why our offer feels off, what actually makes an offer work, and then we'll strip away the noise and refocus on what actually matters. That's day one. And again, it's free to sign up for this thing. It's really easy. You just sign up on Substack and you get access and you join me every day. Once a day, you'll get a message from me about this. Okay. Day two is about offering clarity, right? So we want to define exactly who you are, what problem you solve, what outcome you deliver. No more vague positioning, because I think a lot of people, again, struggle with that. Then on day three, it's going to be pricing and confidence. How do we fix your underpricing? How do we fix your shaky confidence? And we're going to learn how to price based on the value and the transformation, not the hours that you're giving people. Day number four, we're going to build your offer. So we're going to turn your clarity into a simple, sellable offer. Help you outline the promise, the process, and the price. And then day five, we're going to lock it in. So we're going to integrate everything, and we're going to move forward with confidence. You'll know your offer and is ready and what to do next. And of course, I'll invite you to join my TLB Club community as part of the TLB Insiders or anything else you want to do. But I think that's a good thing. I mean, coming to TLB Club as my guest or being part of the community is also really good, because our goal here is in 6 to 12 months to monetize your digital strategy better by 20 to 50%. That's my promise. If you do the work, gotta do the work. But that's kind of what I'm promising people. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. It's launching next week on Monday, February 16th, 1 week after my birthday. But this is my gift to you, okay? Because knowing all that stuff, you have to pay. You have to invest. It costs. I mean, you could subscribe to tier 2 of my Substack, which is only $7 a month. That's like nothing. You could join my TLB Club, which is a membership community, which again, or you can go higher up to the speaking or the TEDx Mastery stuff. And that's fine. But this is my gift to you for my birthday. I'm giving it to you. It's free. Take advantage and sign up for that stuff. Okay. So I hope you will kind of take that into consideration and make the most of it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share um, some final insights into offers. So, if you are creating an offer and you're trying to sell your expertise and sell your product, you have to figure out how to build and grow and scale this thing. Okay. So, what you want to do is you want to ship that offer out there properly and stop worshiping the polish, right? The clarity that you need and with the clarity that your audience needs is built in the real world, not in your head. Okay. So you have to get whatever's in here, all the jumble in here and get it out there. Okay. So, if if you go through this, you wanna pause for a second because if you're working on an offer, that's great, but now you gotta get out there and make sure you're ahead of most people, but now how do we polish it, right? So, a lot of people, what they do is they put offers out there, but they don't actually slow down to kinda clarify what they're actually selling, right? Now, they keep tweaking, and now some of you keep tweaking, adjusting, second guessing, but they never ship. You don't even ship it out. You're trying to work on it, right? So what we want to do is we want to actually lock in that confidence momentum next steps. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk a bit about the biggest offer mistakes that I still see over and over again. Okay, even from smart, experienced business owners. I mean, look, you can be, and there are six-figure business owners who are still stuck. Right, and I've been there before too. I've been there before, and it's fine, it's normal. So, I'm gonna talk about the biggest mistakes that I still see over and over again. So, number 1 is waiting for certainty before, before shipping it out, to putting your offer out there. Like, you can perfect and perfect and perfect, but you're not gonna get feedback to evolve unless you put it out there. So, there's no such thing as a fully baked offer. There's only tested and untested, right? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So you want to make sure that don't wait for certainty. And I said before, there's people who they're constantly out there doing this without actually thinking about the structure, the rudder of the ship and pointing in the right direction. There's other people who are like planning, building the ship, building the foundation, and they never launch. It's both. Put it out there, see what people think, get feedback, ask for feedback, write the rudder, write the ship, you know, check out the sales and adjust them. That's what you do. Okay, so that was one of the main mistakes people make when they launch a product. Okay, number two, trying to please everybody. Okay, your product is not for everybody. I understand. I sell personal branding. I sell small business growth. I sell TEDx talks. These are things that everybody wants in some way or could use. But do I market everybody? No, you can't. So you can't try to please everybody. So when you create a product or offer, you want to offer like if you make an offer that's for everyone, that's emotionally safe and commercial and but it's commercially invisible. Okay. You have to find someone that you're really targeting to really speak to that person so they really, really feel you and hear you. Okay. So uh, if you have an offer and you tell me it's for everyone, we're gonna say no. Who's this for? Right. Let's bear down on exactly who this is for because I think that's going to be incredibly important. All right. And for those who are joining in, feel free to share comments. But basically, what I'm doing is I'm talking about the biggest offer mistakes I still see over and over again. So first one was waiting for certainty before you actually put the offer out there. Number two, trying to please everybody. Number three is overbuilding the solution, right? So, you know, some people might have more modules, more calls, more bonuses, but that doesn't mean more value, right? So if you see a program that's like, okay, here's my program, there's 100 modules, 200 hours of content, and we have 2 calls daily, and I have 12 bonuses here, 12 bonuses. It's not necessarily it doesn't mean more value. One of the programs that I did that didn't work for me is like, hey, Bobby, take these 60 modules, go do this and get your result. It didn't work for me. I invested money. It did not work for me. So often, if you overbuild a solution, it creates confusion and delivery drag. So what you want to do is make sure that for the solution you have, every single sticky point that people have along the process, make sure you have something for them. That's important because if you know the process from A to Z, like I know the process A to Z of personal branding, I know the process A to Z on speaking. I know the process A to Z on TEDx talk. So I know where people get stuck. And so I come in and help them with that. Like a very common place where people get stuck with, let's say, small business owners and launching the solution is I'm not sure, you know, who my target audience is. So let's focus on that target audience. Or for a TEDx talk, I'm not sure what my idea is. Great. Let's hone in on the right idea, topic, and title. That's incredibly important. So you want to make sure we cover all those bases, all those areas. Okay. And then the other thing that happens is you get confusing feedback with failure. So if you get a weak response, it is, a weak response isn't a verdict. It's just information, right? Rejection is just redirection. Because if something's not working, have to figure it out. The first program I ever launched, it didn't go well. I tried to hone it for a little bit. Eventually, I moved on and created a new product. I decided to just let that one go because it wasn't working as well for me. And that's okay. You want to find something that starts to work. You validate the process, and then once you start getting proof of concept, you can start investing in it, building it, and that's great. So, just to summarize, the four biggest offer mistakes I see over and over again: wait for certainty before you ship it out there and put it out there, trying to please everybody, overbuilding the solution, and confusing feedback with failure. Feedback is great. Hone your product, you make it better and better. Now, let's talk about what actually makes an offer scalable. So you're putting a product out there, you're making it scalable. What do you do? Well, it's and look, it's not automation first, it's not ads, it's not fancy funnels. Most of you, I'm telling you, most of you are at the basic. Every single business owner and brand builder and career explorer person I've worked with, and this is like thousands of people the last 20 years, they never have a clear brand. They never have a clear target. Um, they don't have an actual system that does the thing they're supposed to do. So if you're a business owner and trying to get clients, how do you actually get people from A to Z, the beginning to the close? You actually get the sale, and then they pay you money. If you're trying to get a TEDx talk, the idea, the application, the pitch, and getting to the result of where someone says, "Yeah, come do a TEDx talk with us." So to me, what we're talking about here is really clarity, clarity, focus, purpose, direction, messaging. That's the key part here, right? So that's something I always see. Every time I talk to a business owner about how do you get clients? Oh, I have social media. Okay, is that enough? Does it actually link clients? I spoke to someone just the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been on this path, and I'm putting myself out there for two." And I said, "How long?" 2 years. 2 years. I was like, "How many calls have you booked?" Zero. I said, "At what point do you think you should say I need to change things?" He's like, "I believe in the system. I believe in the process. I know I know I'm going to get there." I'm like, 2 years in, like, man, yeah, it's a lot. I'm analyzing 1 month in. You can analyze 3 months in, 6 months in, but man, 2 years? No, don't do that. You need to adjust. You need to come up with something new. So scalable offers have three things. Number one, they have a clear promise, something that people immediately recognize. It hits their pain point. It hits their bliss point. They get it. They feel it. They know it. And that to me is really important. So for example, if you want to join TLB Club, who's it for? It's for small business owners who've hit that ceiling and have made the same amount of money last year as they did the previous year. It means you're not growing. So what's going on? Whether you're a five-figure business owner or a low six-figure business owner, maybe you're trying to, go up. It's hard. And that's a pain because you're like, I've done this now for 3 years. I made the same amount of money. What's going on? So my promise is I know that most of you will have a digital strategy that is not converting effectively. I know this because I've talked to hundreds of you about this. So my promise is if you join TLB Club, I'm going to go look at your digital strategy by going through a deep dive evaluation audit and having a 1 hour call with you. I will actually pinpoint 6 to 10 things that I think could be better. And based on that, I'm going to come up with the top 2 or 3 things I think you can monetize an extra 20 to 50% better in 12 months. So if you're making, let's say, 100,000 last couple of years, I'm going to show you ways to get to 120 to 150 or more within 12 months. That's what I'm trying to do. So a clear promise is important. Number two, a repeatable process you can deliver without burning out. So a big part of what I do when it comes to TLB Club and business owners TEDx Mastery and the TEDx clients, and even the Speaker Mastermind stuff and the personal brand stuff I did before, is having a clear process that I can just deliver without burning out. Because when you deliver a thing over and over again, you give them all the materials, they go through it. It works a lot better when you do that, right? And then finally, number three is to have a clean message that doesn't explain it. If you can explain it very quickly and easily in a clean way, then that's what's going to go a lot really well. And again, you get feedback, but if you can explain your offer in one sentence and deliver it without chaos, you're already ahead of the scale curve. Okay. So how do you know when your offer is ready? Well, here's the thing. Your offer is ready if you can explain it clearly, if someone understands it without asking 10 follow-up questions, and you're willing to put it in front of real people and to get the feedback, to get the critique, to get the clients, to get started, to build and learn and grow and evolve. Not when it's perfect, not when your confidence magically appears. The confidence will come after you put it out there and ship that product and get people. Okay? I think that's important for people to know. So, what's the real lesson that we're talking about here? The real lesson of, the challenge, that the 5-day challenge that we've been doing, is clarity beats cleverness. You can see people being very, very clever, but clarity wins the day. Progress, moving forward, learning, growing beats polish. Progress beats polish. Action beats overthinking. You know me, you guys who know me, I'm a doer. Get her done, get it out there. Let's try it. Your action beats the overthinking. Okay. So if you're working on your website or your logo, or your social media, to get more impressions, you don't need a new logo. You don't even need a new website. Okay. People have built business just having LinkedIn profile or nothing. If you put it out there, you can get it. You don't need a bigger audience. I mean, you don't need another course or framework. You stick with, if you have something good, we can build that. What you need is one clear offer. You need one real problem and one next step. So if you're willing to move forward, what you want to do is, in terms of a plan, once you have your offer, you share your offer publicly. You post it, send an email, DM people. You can have real conversation about it. So maybe you start DMing people, see what they think about it. Try to hear where people are hesitating, asking questions, or leaning in. Because if they're leaning in, that means they're interested. If they're hesitating, find out what the issue is. If they're asking questions, great, learn, answer the questions. We'll keep refining the message. Refine the message. Refine the message. Don't refine the entire offer. Refine the message. Maybe maybe you get an offer idea to put in that might help. But that's it. Okay. No rebuilding, no spiraling, no disappearing. Okay. So as a final reminder, right? Clarity beats perfection. Putting it out there and shipping your offer out is better than hiding it, and learning is better than waiting. So put it out there and learn from people. So you're closer than you think if you're willing to get out there and put that offer out there. So if you're interested in what I've spoken about today and you're finding the value in what we're talking about, your next step is this, first off, reply to the message, reply to what I'm doing, and choose one of the following. Okay. Number one, you can share your final offer with me. You can ask for feedback or tell me what you're putting out there next. And if you do that, this is where momentum is built. Okay. So I want you to think about that as you kind of go through it. And I think that's going to go, it's going to go a long way, because the truth is momentum lives on the other side of action. So for me, if you want to get going, I'm here for you. My communities are here for you on Substack, TLB Club, Text Mastery if you want that one. But I'm here for you to help you get to where you need to go. So that's why I created this offer on my birthday. And that's why I want to gift this to you so you have some momentum. Now, if you're willing to take that momentum and join me and get my support and my encouragement, and I could be your coach, your champion, your cheerleader in your corner, which is, I think, a good thing to have, then I'd love to meet you. I'd love to talk to you. And just come by any one of the things that I'm working on, or check out the tiers on Substack, check out my communities, check out my newsletter on LinkedIn. You'll see all the things that I'm talking about, what I'm doing. And honestly, the first step is just show up. The second step is to take action. The third is to really start doing the work, asking questions, asking for help, and get on there. Because I think my last message to you is that the biggest struggle with most of the people I've spoken to that are trying to build their business or brand or their career is that they don't do the work. They just have excuses. And um, I don't want you to have excuses. I want you to have the work out there. I want you to have the results, and I want to be there to help you to where you want to go. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this useful, and I thank you for those who, have come by and been part of this. It means a lot to me. And as I said, I started talking about uh, gratitude for my birthday. I'm gonna end with gratitude. I'm grateful for the fact that I've tried this. Made this video. You're here listening to it, and I'm grateful for anybody who responds, replies, and takes part in what I'm trying to do for people because I've had the opportunity to have many people, communities, coaches, and other people take my hand and lift me up that mountain. And as I've lifted up, I'm taking my hand and reaching down this way, and I'm lifting people up myself because it's so important to me. All right. So with that, take care. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.